All right, so just a refresher of what you should be thinking about as you rebrand, what really helps us get our brand identity. So that's colors, the typography, graphics, as well as their particular logo. And companies typically with successful branding are recognizable just by those specific things. So here we're going to look at a few more examples of some rebrands.
Champion. And at number 1, King Savage. So let's get started with number 1. Number 1 is GoDaddy. So here's what they had last on the left, and here's what they have now on the right. It's something, isn't it? Okay, let's look at some of the history. Originally it was this one. It's kind of a Ask Jeeves sort of a feel. Then there, then there, then there, now here. They have this icon here that they've tried to make look cool by putting illustrations in and out of it, kind of take away any kind of emphasis of the icon. Because this icon, I don't know what it is, okay? The typography, the changes they made, it's the exact same typography. I think it's just a little bit thinner. It looks better that way, that's good. And they went into black, sure, that's strong. But this icon, what is it? 2 coffee beans on top of each other? Could be anything. So for that reason, it's gonna go into Adobe Crashed. I'm sorry, GoDaddy. Okay, number 2 comes to us from the brothers who are Warner. There's a lot of them in here who are done by a design firm called Pentagram, and I believe this is one of them. Pretty controversial because Warner Brothers, I think, has always had like the 3D text. They did keep the shield, the overall shape. They kept the letters pretty similar. They did make it taller and thinner, so it's a little bit more dangerous, isn't it? So they have 2 versions. They have a flat version, and then one of these, which reminds me of like cartoons that Warner Brothers used to make. And this is a video they made of all the different ways you can mock it up. That's really sick. I like that a lot. Some of those were really awesome, but I only see them for like half a second. Look at this. They have all these setups. My only question on this rebrand is the colors. Look at this. How many colors are here? 11? No, there's 4. I'm pretty sure there's 4 different blues. I don't understand that. There's one blue, and then the font they did down here is a different blue. The more blue, the merrier, apparently. So I actually don't hate this redesign. I think it's very well done. It still keeps the heart of the original icon, and it still allows for you to play with the logo in various ways. But the blue is really interesting. I don't know why there's so many different blues in it. So I am going to put it at Costco Food Court. All right, next up, we have the Bach that is Reebok. I bet you awesome possums, maybe some of you knew, but probably a lot of you didn't know that this logo on the left, they used for like 3 or 4 years. I didn't know that. I was like, what happened to Reebok? Where are they? You might think that this on the right was their old logo, and you'd be right, but there's some adjustments to it. They used to have this logo since like 92 or something like that. And then in 2014, they changed to this because they were trying to get into like CrossFit and general fitness, whatever. But then in like 2017, 18, 16, some year in those 3-year time frames, they switched back to this one. And they have a video explaining the difference between their old one and the new old one. Check it out, son. The Reebok Vector, established in 92. Look at this. They straighten out the top line to create forward movement. That's what it does. They did the bottom ones to better align for stronger balance. And then they widen the channels. They just made a good decision of going back to the old logo that everybody knows them by. But I won't put it in King Savage because there's really, not too much new here. Okay, next up we have Slack Attack. What it do? On the left, you'll see their old logo, and on the right, you'll see their new logo. This is another one by the Pentagrams. All right, this one is interesting. This one, I think a lot of people don't really have a strong opinion on. Here's some of the stuff they're working with. I think that their old icons here in the middle and on the right, the old one was actually cooler. I like that little quilted blanket over here with the S in it. It looks really cool when it's in your Mac dock. The new stuff simplifies it, makes it easier to use, I suppose. I heard somebody say it looked like a windmill that has water dripping off of it. I think the main issue with the old one is that there's literally like somewhere between 10 and 500 different colors in here. That being said, I'm going to give it just an average Mr. C. For whatever it gained in clarity and simplicity, it lost in representation of the product. Next one comes to us from Atlanta, Georgia. Pretty sure that's where they're headquartered. MailChimp. This U is actually lowercase, and I dig it. I like that idea. Yeah, but anyways, that's the one they were using before. And before that one, they were using this one on the left, which they changed in 2013. But this one on the left was really weak. Yeah, I think this was a good change because this one on the left feels very, very futuristic. A little bit too much. And the one on the right, while it doesn't have very much personality, it does look a lot more approachable and friendly. I think it's because of all the loops, man. And here I have a very visual chart of the icon changes. But this is what they did. My favorite is probably 2017 or 16. I really like this change, and if you look at the whole system, yeah, they sell it well. So I am actually going to put it in Costco Food Court because I think it was a change for the better. Okay, next up we have the light.
Okay, so we will stop there with that, but just some more things to think about. He really pointed out some things they did well, some things they needed to improve on, and all of that. So we're just going to talk about Coca-Cola here briefly, and kind of how they have changed through the years. So they started in 1886 by a doctor who just developed this, and their mission statement, which that was something you had to find out for your companies, was to refresh the world in mind, body, and spirit, to inspire moments of optimism and happiness through our brands and actions, and create value and make a difference. So then if we just go to kind of the redesign, the goal of the redesign is to keep the iconic color combination as well as their script font. So as you look at our examples, we're thinking that's what I want to do. I like that color. I like the script. But trying to make it look a little more modern. So a new font will be selected for the script, but we're going to keep the iconic C style and script look. A new younger looking font will be chosen for variations such as Diet Coke, Coke Zero, and their other kind of spin-off Coke items. Red, black, and white has our colors. Will stay, but maybe just a new shade of red chosen. So that's what we're thinking about here, as I am kind of showing you some examples of where you should be headed. So the first thing you're going to do today is looking at variations of color and playing with those colors. So just trying some different variations and combinations of that, particular maybe shade that they already have to do that. And so when you make your own of this, I'd like you to turn in a sampling of 6 color variations, and you can just use the rectangle tool in Illustrator to do that. So one thing you can do if you're kind of curious, well, like I wonder what kind of the actual color is of my brand right now, if you just bring in one of their logos, I'm just using this for an example, and I guess you need to see this. So we get this eyedropper, and I'm in InDesign right now, but the same thing is in Illustrator. And then I just click the eyedropper on, any color, and it's going to bring it up. This does some nice variations when I'm in InDesign of, what maybe it could look like or do. But using that eyedropper tool will let you know kind of what is that original color. So that's the first part, looking at the colors. The second thing to work on today is looking at the fonts. So remember, in my scenario, we said we really like the C, we like the script type font. So just picking basically kind of 6 different fonts and putting them over your color swatches. You can look just through what's in Illustrator, but you also can go to the website dafont.com to download and try some fonts. I'm going to go there just so I can show you on your Mac what you have to do after you download them. Alright, so I'm on dafont.com. You can just look through some recently added ones here if you know a specific type. You can click, like decorative up here. It'll take you there. So lots of different choices to maybe find a font that you think will go with your particular brand. So I'm just going to say I'm going to use this one if I'm still thinking of Coke. So I download it. And then you do have to go and open it from your download that's not actually installed on your computer yet. And so then when I do that, I'll open the folder here, open this, and then I have to say install font. Hopefully it will just go. It should automatically like put it in the user. And you can also, like, I will sometimes just come to computer and drag it over from my downloads there, and add it that way too, so that I just make sure that it gets to my program that I want. So that is that. So for that same thing, should have 6 different fonts on top of the color swatches you did for the previous assignment.